So, as we have 5 flights in Canada and we are already underway here, Thax from the pit lane now just leaving ahead of the pack. As it seems, as we go into the next few corners, you can see the intense track limits abusing there.
This is a great job for Aston Martin right now, who had an extremely good qualifying result and is so far keeping their P2 position in check right now. And they're having pressure from oil. Right now, Thax has climbed up to 11th place, starting from the pit lane, dead last, now in 11th place. There is only a couple, and oh, it looks like there was an incident with the Williams. 14-second gap now separating them, 10-second gap separating them from Combatant in the Haas. Happy so far is doing a lot of defending to make sure that their P2 position is secured, but there's pressure going on from Curran as Curran takes an inside line going down. What is that? Turns 3, I assume, without a rear wing, but it looks like the DRS flap is still on right now, and we see, I think that might have been Sot, or yeah, that's probably Sot. Sot drops down to P3, losing the lead, and the position is handed to the Aston Martin, battling super hard with Curran right now, doing amazing job right now. This Sot is truly showing his experience, the man that once put in his Discord bio that he was done with racing, hanging up the boots, making sure no one reaches him out, is unexpectedly showing a charge in the very game that he had sort of an anti-reverence with, pushing super hard. The Aston Martins and the Red Bull both going at it right now. The vision lag is completely hindering our view of this excellent masterclass of driving, as we see Sut accidentally hit a little bit of kink in the road. It looks like oil really suffered the consequences of that, but the Ferrari, Max Verstappen, is doing a great job. I never thought I would say that. A Red Bull driver, Max Verstappen, is in the Ferrari right now, but here we have them racing super hard, keeping their P4 position cool behind Thax, which managed to climb up to P5, up 6 positions since they've started the race in the pit lane. They were unfortunately not able to make the qualifications, but the charge is on right now. The Drivers' Championship leader, currently going against the person who has been leading the past couple of races this couple of months right now, in a battle deep with the Aston Martin right now of Happy.
We have a 3-way fight for the lead here. This is... oh, and that's Karan who cuts the corner and now does get a slowdown penalty, effectively ending their hopes of fighting for the lead. So now we are left with Happy and Sot, who are separate. Oh, and that's Verstappen, who had a bit of a rear slide there, as we saw the Ferrari.
And that makes them lose the position. Well, it looks like they're about to lose the position, as Thax is going to be climbing up to P4. And oh my goodness, did something happen with Happy? No, there didn't seem to be. But
where's Karan?
Oil is dropping heavily now due to that big slowdown that you did mention before, Wiki. And so far, it looks like Thax is going to be securing that podium position ahead of the Ferrari, meaning that Ferrari is going to be dropping down to P4 in the current way that this Grand Prix is happening, going out as Sot opens up lap 5 of the Canadian Grand Prix with Happy charging right behind in the Aston Martin. They're doing a pretty good freaking job though, as the Ferrari is looking to capitalize on a possible mistake that Thax could create. The tire advantage is looking to go to, well, it could be a differing choice. It could depend. But I think it could be going to Max Verstappen in the Ferrari, because Thax had to really push his car and go for some extreme racing lines, extreme hard braking points in order to be able to climb up to that P3 position. So the Ferrari of right now of Max is going to have to just look to see if Thax can make a mistake, as Sot sets the fastest lap on lap 5. Now, Thax manages to actually lose a lot of time behind the Aston Martin. So the Aston Martin's doing a great job defending their position. I don't know how many times I've said Aston Martin. Take a shot on how many times I've said it. But so far, it's looking like a great sketch of points for the Aston Martin F1 team.
I think Imim has retired from the race.
Oh, have they?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, we
becomes our
cannot
first
click on them, so they
retirement.
are unresponsive. Their onboard is unresponsive, and
And there you go, and Thax
oh
gets past Happy, and we did get the confirmation that IMIM has crashed and becomes our
yes.
first retirement of the race. And so Thax jumps ahead a position to Happy, and the Red Bull now clears them into P2. Will this be a potential comeback drive from pit lane to first? That is completely up to Sot
Oh, and oh
and
my goodness, look
Thax.
at that.
Oh,
That's
what was that?
who's this? That was an Audi, I think.
What was
An Audi must
that?
have spun out a little bit. Yeah, that's the Audi of Dev Prokla Pro. Just regaining their speed out of that sling and losing it again, going into the gravel. It is not a great day for the Audi team right now, who just rebranded, thinking that they would start a fresh, new beginning, but it's not looking like it's going to be starting in the points this time around, compared to when they've both been, or compared to when Isla, a previous driver who is currently not in attendance, finished from P9 to P7 in, I think that was France. So it's not looking pretty good, as we do see a pretty hefty amount of people in attendance for the Canadian Grand Prix.
Go. We're 11 laps in. No, it hits me that 27 is a perfect cute number, and I can't stop thinking about that.
Oh my god!
Oh, that's
Oh shit!
Potato of the BMW. Almost getting slingshotted into the barrier to the Canadian sling.
And that is Dan Hockey Player taking that mistake and capitalizing on it, as we see the Ferrari in the distance. But that is the position for 6th place given to the Haas. A huge benefit and a good sketch of points given to them if they manage to finish in this position. Oh, would you look at that?
Thax is in the lead.
Dax is in
Dax
the
is in
lead
the
of the
lead.
race. What must have happened?
And Sot still maintains it just a little bit. He's neck and neck. Oh, you can see that's a bunch of cars who got hit by the Canadian sling. We have 4 cars in the frame now, maybe 5. What is going on? And suddenly, it's an all-out brawl for P1.
An absolutely huge fight going on as Sot manages to take back the position. Dax thought that he had it secured at the end of that final turn, but it looks like it will be for naught right now, as Dax's Red Bull is just barely coming through. Sot manages to gain a lot of pace. I don't know where that time must have went for Sot to lose such an incredible gap, as Max Verstappen drops down, not being able to contest with Dax. There's so much happening right now. Happy is just getting out of the pits right now. It could have been that Sot might have just pitted, and that's why their time has shrunk so much.
I don't think that's the case, because I think the last time I checked, Sot was only 10 seconds ahead. Pit loss time here should not be that short, so could have been a slowdown, I think.
Oh yeah, that's
As you see,
definitely
Thax has
something.
gotten a slowdown of his own, I believe.
And that just further cements what you were just talking about, Wiki, is that it could have been just a huge slowdown. I mean, we've seen the kinks. We've seen a lot of these drivers who are really experienced around other tracks go into the gravel and nearly bite the barriers, injuring and possibly entering a terminal damage state for their car right now. But they're very lucky to keep it on here, yet the penalties are really hindering how much they're doing. As we were talking about how much time was lost,
Oh.
Soot manages to get a new fastest lap. I think,
So, to seem that he's flying, which he
And-
kind of is right now.
whoa, Thax has dropped down all the way to P4. What has happened to Thax? Did he just...
Oh, what's going on? What's going on?
We can't seem to click on him.
What's
Did he
going on?
crash?
What's going on? What's going on?
We're just
Oh,
gonna have to
yeah.
see, as we'll focus on P6
Oh.
right now. Dan Hidero, or Dan Hockey Player, will he overtake Thax? If so, then this will be a great way to pinpoint where Thax crashed. Oh my goodness, Thax must have crashed down the
Oh.
sling. Thax,
No surprise, it's down the sling.
and that is
Thax,
horrible for his championship.
two things might have happened. Is that Thax probably gave up after being embarrassed with that strategy, or he just somehow managed to crash somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere
Ooh.
in the sling. That is unfortunate. And with the new rule set added, effective immediately going into the sprint, into the Grand Prix in future events, Stacks will not be getting a single point from this race, even though they place in the top 10. This is really unfortunate for the Red Bull team, and it's all up to oil right now with the rear wingless Red Bull to see whether or not we can have any good sort of things come out for the Red Bull team in the Canadian Grand Prix. 27 laps around Canada, and still the Ferrari manages to do it once again. The prancing horses succeeding with another win. He won in Miami, he won in the sprint. Sot takes the win of the Canadian Grand Prix.
What a fun race today. Good points for all, good races for all, good efforts put in by everyone here.
I mean, Soot has won an impeccable amount of races so far, essentially establishing themselves and making themselves a name in this current season in Velocity. But yeah, this is excellent racing for Velocity. We'll meet you next week in the heating desert of Qatar. We'll meet you next week there. This is Velocity F1. I'm Java, this is Wiki, and we'll see you next week. Signing off.